Welcome, everybody, to the Grueling Truth preview for the upcoming British Grand Prix. Of course, as always, the Grueling Truth is powered by betting.net. Betting.net is your best bet for finding an online sportsbook or casino that's right for you. Make sure you check them out at betting.net. I am your host, Mike Goodpaster. Right now, I'd like to welcome in our guest and our expert on F1 to talk about the British Grand Prix, Marcus. How you doing, Marcus?
Hey, Mike. I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm all right. All right, let's just get the show started. That's early today. Everything's great so far. We're going to talk about the British Grand Prix. Now, what can you tell us about this weekend's race and the track?
Okay, so the British Grand Prix takes place in a place called Silverstone. Silverstone is home. It's considered as the home of Formula One and considered as the home of the British Grand Prix as well. It's a very technical circuit. It's been around since like the late 40s or early 50s. It used to be like one of those Air Force bases, and then it's turned into like a street track. And it's been developed and changed constantly. And right now, it is what it is today. And it's a fantastic little circuit. It's about 5.8 kilometers long, something like that. It features about 18 corners, very high speed and medium speed corners, and can produce some fantastic races. There's been some awesome races throughout.
All right, so the last time out in Canada, we saw a pretty exciting race. We saw a decent performance by Mercedes. Can we expect them to perform again, given they have two British drivers?
Well, of course, it's very important for them to try and get the best out of the package or the best out of what they have out of their car, right? Yeah, they have two British drivers, Lewis Hamilton, seven-time world champion, and obviously his new teammate, George Russell. Yeah, there are two British drivers, especially Russell. He's hungry, he's young, he really wants to get in, he really wants to win something. It's going to be quite a steep mountain for them to climb if they really want to win, but they are going to bring some upgrades to the track this weekend, which should help their performance really. But then again, so are the other teams, right? They're also going to bring upgrades. But it is a track which I think does suit the Mercedes, particularly if they run it a little bit lower to the ground. I think they might have a chance of getting a podium. They might even have a slight chance of winning this Grand Prix.
All right, now you mentioned this track has a medium and fast corners. Which team do you think will benefit the most from this track?
Oh, without a doubt, Ferrari. This track is really suited for their car and for the package and what they bring. The way it handles and the way it rides the curves over the corners. It's just an all-out package for them. At least over one lap for sure, Charles will have the edge over Max and over the Red Bull or any of the other teams. However, it might not go particularly well. I mean, we've seen them struggling with some reliability issues recently. Charles had a few DNFs, did not finish, for those who do not know. And also their strategy department hasn't been the best recently. Something has gone wrong over there. So we could be in for a surprise, but this track, Silverstone, definitely suited for Ferrari.
All right, so what does that mean exactly coming into this race for Max and Red Bull?
Okay, so yeah, Max is now currently leading the World Championship by something like something like 40, 50 points, something like that. Due to the DNFs that Charles had over the last few races, Max has obviously just winning races. They have a fantastic package. He's fast. He's aggressive. We all know that. I don't want to exclude him from winning the race. Max is pretty much the best driver that we have within this new era with the cars, with this package. However, Max not only has to worry about about Ferrari bouncing back, but they also need to worry about, or Max has to also worry about his teammate Sergio Perez, who's really into this championship battle now. He's only 3 points ahead of Charles in second place. So he wants to win this championship. He wants to get involved, and who knows what that might cause a little later down the line.
All right, so who's your take for winning the pole this weekend, and who do you think will win the race overall?
Okay, so pole is definitely going to be Charles Leclerc for Ferrari. He's the best driver over a single lap, and like I said, the track does suit the Ferrari a bit better. Winning the race overall, I don't want to take, like I said, I don't want to take out Mercedes out of winning the race. It's a long shot for them. Perhaps a good safe bet would be for one of the Mercedes drivers to make it to the podium. That would be a decent bet. Might net you some good winnings. And we're also looking at Red Bull, obviously, Max to win. But I want to put Sergio Perez in the mix as well. Might be good for a podium. So I'm hovering over those three at the moment.
Well, you've got to make a decision at some point, Marcus. And when you make that decision, what do you think are the best sports books for going out and betting on Formula One racing?
So I had a look at some of the sports books for the US, Mike. I'm really liking the offers that BetMGM have, and I'm really liking the markets that they're offering right now. You also got FanDuel; it's just a classic over there, and plenty of markets to choose from, and plenty of opportunities to make some prop bets as well with FanDuel. Meanwhile, for the rest of the world or for European viewers, you also got Betfair and Bet365, who all Betfair seem to have a few more markets available and a few more prop bets that you can make. And you also got then Bet365, who are just available worldwide, and they seem like they have a pretty decent selection too.
All right, guys. So if you want, you can also head over now and see for yourself. Betting.net makes it easy for all the legal online sportsbook casinos in your state, whatever state you live in, whatever country you live in. It will take you to where you can legally bet on the British Grand Prix. Marcus, as always, it's been a pleasure to talk a little Formula One racing with you.
Always a pleasure, Mike. Thank you so much for having me.
All right, we're going to wrap it up. Make sure on the YouTube video, we will have a link in there, right, Marcus, to click to go to bet with what Marcus thinks is the best sites to check out here.
Yeah, definitely. We'll leave a few links in the description down below for all the providers that I've just mentioned, and also a link to an article with a few more bets and betting tips and predictions that I list in there. Make sure to check that out.
Yeah, and you can find that article on thegrillytruth.com. It's up, it's live right now. But we're going to go ahead. We're going to wrap this Formula One preview show up. But for Marcus, I'm Mike Goodpastor. You've been watching and listening to The Grueling Truth, where the legends speak.